Sup, buddy? Welcome back. Glad you found the place. Well, I was just wanting to show you all a little bit and talk a little bit about wire wraps and the progression of artists and how wire wraps play a part in the gym market today. Because there's a lot of people that, they're either opposed to wire wraps or they think it's not, as good as silversmithed or whatever. And I mean, a lot of these wire wrap artists are amazing. I mean, the guy that does these, Josh Graham, I mean, he's just absolutely amazing. And this one, even you can see, I don't know if it'll do it. See how the purple comes through, the amethyst comes through the prasiolite from the top, makes like a little kaleidoscope. But a lot of these artists are just super amazing. But what people don't realize is they see stuff like this, or they see, some pieces they consider lower end like this. But what they don't realize is these artists, this and this, were made by the same guy, just, 4 or 5 years apart, maybe even 3 or 4 years apart. So when you give people a chance and you purchase their art, it keeps them moving in the right direction. Now, he also did this one, the snowflake, and he did this big double-sided one. So, I mean, you really can't judge whether somebody's just starting out or whether they're, been doing it for years. You shouldn't judge their art. If you don't particularly care for the style or for the technique, that's one thing. But to criticize people's work, I mean, it's all art. Like this one, it ain't the best, but this is one that I did years ago, probably 8 years ago. And it's, one that I personally wear a lot because, well, it's one of the first nice ones that I made. And you can see the bezeling in the back ain't bezel. That's just a beer can we cut up and wire wrapped over to make the patterns. Because we did it when I was still living on the streets, selling rocks out of my rock box. I still got a couple of them here. They just got better rocks in them now. So, you can't judge. It plays a big part in today's market in the gym world because it gives people an opportunity to take the stones that they like, that they've been collecting, and it gives them a method of being able to produce income so that they can keep putting money back into the market. I couldn't tell you how many of my customers are wire wrap artists and jewelers. We got silver and goldsmiths that buy a lot of our stuff too. We have, this piece. This is a sugilite that's actually jelly. I don't know if we can, see? You can see through it. But yet I gave it to somebody to wire wrap. It should be set in something better, I guess, but who's to say, I mean, I personally like it like that. My wife wears that one a lot. And now this is my personal collection, so this isn't, this is just a sample to show. This stuff we sell in the auctions. We start them at like $4 each, and they go up to, $8 or $10. Then you got stuff in here that ranges up to, $1,200 for some of these. So I know some of them get a little expensive, but you got to think of how many hours somebody put in to making something like this happen. How many, not just hours of making that piece, but how many hours of individual pieces that they've made to be able to get from this to this, So it's just an example of, why not to judge people or to judge people's art, because you see this and you're like, oh, it's looks jank. Yeah, well, maybe one of these days with a little support, they'll be up to making something like that, you know? Everybody starts somewhere. Alright, y'all come on back now.